So the question is, can you explain what the intentions are for the arrangements of color and also address why the hues are identical on the bottom left? To identify why the hues are identical, we need the hue saturation tool. Uh, Bring up our eyedropper tool, 294, 294, those are identical hues. No difference in hue. Hue is a measure of the specific of what often students consider color. Color is this full range of hue, saturation, and brightness. So when we do our color wheel, 294 has that specific location just to the left, just towards, say, 9 o'clock of magenta, and that is the hue. So that's what we're talking about there. In this case, you had hue 46, which is slightly heading back from yellow going towards orange, 34 being very close to orange. So hopefully that clears that up. Let me pull up a color window. We should have one pretty handy here. This is a color window. These would be hues. The hues there is 316. It should actually be 315. Not sure why it's reading differently. But those are the hues. They're not actually colors. Color is all three of these aspects together. The hue, saturation, and value together. Hue is just a general location on the color wheel, which is why we represent it in degrees. If you'll notice, anytime we talk about hues, we're using this degree. We're not identifying a specific color. When we identify colors, we typically use HSB or we use RGB to be very specific about the color. So kind of going back, let's make sure I got the rest of your question. So this would take going back to the video of understanding different hues. So in this case, we can use this one because we have 12 degrees difference in hues, and that's, we were looking for, I think 15 is what I mentioned in the video. So to make the orange look like the yellow, we want to subtract orange aspects. So one way to do that would be to use a red background. The red would subtract some of those orange aspects. It would help the orange appear to be a stronger yellow, moving it in the direction of yellow. In the case of the yellow, we have a couple of options. We can add a cyan, which will add red aspects, which will cause yellow to appear more like orange. You can think of that in mixing paint. If you added red to yellow, you'll start to get an orange appearance. You can also think of this as an additive system. What makes yellow? Yellow is made of red and green light. So if you subtracted some of those green light, you're going to start to have red becoming dominant, which will allow the orange to become stronger in appearance. Remembering this is just an illusion, which is covered in the theory. So hopefully this clarifies this to some extent. The discussion hopefully will also clarify this as well. But if you still have questions about that, let me know. Remember, color is not defined simply by the hue. It's identified by all three of these elements. It can also be identified by the RGB sliders. It's not any one of these single values.